Moving images really do tell stories. Books are great, and so is artwork.
It captures the time dimension.
What the signs look like, what the cars look like, what the people dressed. You get something from movies and moving images that you can't get from other art.
You can read a book and it says, it was a very busy street. There were people everywhere, and you go, oh, okay, I can kind of imagine that. But it's always sort of an interpretive thing.
I mean, you can look at a Monet painting and go into that world, but film is sort of a real world, but a fake world.
The problem, of course, with film and moving image media is that they contain a huge amount of information. As they say, a picture tells 1,000 words, but that information is closely packed on fragile media.
We're sitting here at the magnificent Lodi Gardens. You know, we have done workshops almost in all cinema cities across India, filmmaking states. People asked me why Delhi, because Delhi doesn't have a home for cinema, or it's not where films are made. For me, Delhi is almost like Rome. This is where we are doing the film preservation, the global film preservation workshop. Almost 25 countries are participating. You have almost 14 African countries, whether it's from Ghana to Egypt, Tanzania, Uganda, Burkina Faso, Guinea. Then you also have Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, Argentina, Brazil. The European part is US, Canada.
The only way that we're going to make progress on film preservation and archiving is to actually work internationally.
This is world heritage. Motion pictures aren't American films and French films and German films and Indian films and Sri Lankan films.
It really is the defining art form of the 20th and 21st century, an incredible record of creative output. It's a beautiful testimony to so many aspects of human civilization. It records so much about who we are as a people globally.
And film and motion pictures are so fragile. And when they're gone forever. They have these amazing time capsules that capture the culture. They're our memory, the world's memory. And if we can't lose that. We'll never get it back if we do.
Well, the big challenge of preserving film, well, actually there are lots of challenges to preserving film. The plastic base that traditional celluloid film is made from decomposes, particularly where the climate is warm and humid, which gives it a limited lifetime. And some films will have become almost unusable in the matter of 10 or 15 years in bad conditions. In good conditions, of course, it can last for hundreds of years, but maintaining those good conditions generally means spending a lot of money.
We've seen a significant amount of experienced technicians, engineers, suppliers, manufacturers of equipment leave this industry. So you will often find laboratories, archive institutions with a very mature workforce who have a lot of skills, knowledge, and it's all embedded in their minds. And it's vitally important that we spend time with the young crowd, as we have on this event, to train them and to educate them as to how to look after this content. The content isn't getting any newer. Degradation is largely setting in.
I set up the Film Heritage Foundation in 2014, and the main goal of the foundation was to preserve our cinematic heritage, and I, of course, did not know that it's going to be such a mammoth task when I set it up, because at that point when we were acquiring material, one of the biggest challenges of acquiring material was that we didn't have archivists or conservators who could actually go on to preserve this heritage or look after this heritage. And we didn't know where to start from, because we were acquiring material from everywhere, and suddenly no one to look after it. So we started doing our workshops. Our first workshop was in 2015 in association with FIAF, and it was in Bombay. And then we went on to Pune at the National Film Archive. Then we went to Chennai with Kamal Hassan and Maniratnam, and then Calcutta, Hyderabad, We did an online workshop during COVID, and then we did in Mumbai last. This 7th workshop, which is the Global Film Preservation Workshop of the FIAF, which is called BAVASS, is almost 10 days, because most of our workshops were 7 days. And people are able to get opportunity of not only learning scanning, what happens after post-scanning, to film repair, to film handling, to digital material, what is cataloging, what is home movies, how do you preserve or look after your non-filmic material, which is posters, lobby cards, photographs. To have a viewpoint and to understand the best of restoration, you've got to show films, you've got to show restored films. So in all our training programs, we've had fantastic screenings of restored films.
Well, the first thing that was shocking was the sound of the steam engines, because the bass went through you. I thought I was in an IMAX, you know. But then Lee, who worked on the restoration, he said he tried not to make it so pretty, because that's apparently what the director wanted. You couldn't believe the quality of the color. There was a lady sitting next to us who went, wow. And I totally got it, because the sky was so blue.
The Film Heritage Foundation has been also restoring films, and we wanted to show Kumati, which we restored with Martin Scorsese Film Foundation and the Cineteca di Bologna. And it was a very difficult restoration. But what came out of a film which was in such poor condition is almost incredible to see it back on screen.
I would never imagine to have seen a film like this, such a unique film, such an interesting texture, so well restored, such bright visuals on the screen.
There's something about just the beauty of seeing actual human faces on a bigger screen, just everything is magnified and you see each little expression, each little gesture. Also the communal experience of watching it with everyone else. To me, that's just a different experience that can't be replicated on your laptops or phones or even a TV at home.
Whenever we have done workshops, we've somehow found material. In Calcutta, we had Buddhadev Dasgupta. His films were found, like Uttara and Bagh Bahadur and many other films. When I came to Delhi, I got a call from Muzaffar Ali. And he said that he's found these 2 boxes of cans, which could help us further in saving Zuni. Inki halat kafi
achhi hai na? Zuni was really in a state where it was abandoned, it was lying in the lab, and the lab didn't know what to do with it because the digital era had stepped in and they were closing their celluloid division, and we recovered these negatives and we handed over to Shivendra, and we hope something beautiful and memorable will emerge, maybe not just in the shape of the real film, but the essence and the passion behind the film.
And God knows how many films that deserve to be with us today is no longer there because nobody cared for it.
Cinema, it's not only masterpieces and it's not only entertainment. I want to say cinema, it's life, it's history, and it's our memory.
If you think about it, humanity has been making pictures about themselves and their lives since cave paintings. I deal a lot with amateur films as well. This is just a modern equivalent of a way of storytelling and documenting their lives.
These are the things that were important to the people. These are the things they wanted to show their family and their children. It's their pets, it's their homes and their cars and the clothes that they wore. These are the lives that were lived by actual people.
And I'm so glad that today I can proudly say that we have created almost a kind of a movement, not only to save films, but created job opportunities. People are looking at a career in conservation of film.
I've been associated with Film Heritage Foundation for quite a long time. They've been doing amazing work in terms of preserving the Indian film heritage. I'm from Manipur. The Manipur Film Archive is also set up with the help of Film Heritage Foundation. That's why we are able to save Manipuri cinema as well.
These kind of things are very important to be able to network with like-minded people and people who also face the same struggles as we do.
I'm very happy that he helped us bring some African archivists also, because our archives are really in bad shape in Africa. And so in coming here, we are creating the nucleus of a group that will go back home, we'll keep in touch. We just created a WhatsApp group.
Slovenia and this scene is really small. All over the world it's a small scene. So it's very important that BAVASS is organizing this kind of conference or summer school. You can meet, of course, different people on really different fields of film, which is practically impossible to meet anywhere else.
Because now I can be able to go in my country and then share everything that was shared here.
There are people here who have been like archivists for like decades, you know. There are people here who actually work on restoring films that we all go and see.
Honestly, sometimes when I finish my lesson, I wish somebody told me all the things I'm teaching to the students when I started without having to, you know, learn all of those things the hard way.
We began our journey in 2014 not realizing where we were going to go because it was too mammoth a task. Almost dealing in 9-10 film industries, 55 languages, over 2,000 films. Incredible hard work, building up a team, dealing in very difficult circumstances, finding films in go-downs, thrown away, almost neglected. The biggest challenge has been talking to people and telling them what film preservation is all about. What do you do actually? People have asked me. When Farhan Akhtar gave me a reel of Milkha Singh's film, saying this is a home movie, and I digitized it and I sent it to Sonia Singh, his daughter. She called me back after she saw it and she said, I didn't know, my father held me. And she was so emotional, she could not talk. That's what we do. That's exactly we do. We almost make them believe that the visual you're seeing is you in it. It's your emotions. And that's what happened to Bachchan back to the beginning, because people were dancing seeing the images or the visuals because they forgot they were in the present at that time. They forgot that they were with people around them. They were lost in that memory and that nostalgia and that feeling what they had. You react when you look at your person sitting next to you and say, is he crying? And then you feel the same, you know? It's about everyone getting together. That's how we are supposed to be. That's humanity. It's not an individual art. And that's what Film Heritage Foundation is trying to do, is to bring people back. It's trying to bring the humanity back. Make them feel the past, present, and future is with you. And those visuals almost speak to you at that time.